To give you an idea of the impact that Portugal had on the world, I mean, this is a country that, in regards to landmass, it's actually quite small. It's only half the size of the state of Victoria, but its language is spoken in 9 different countries by nearly 250 million people. This is a country that shaped the world. So when I bring you to its capital, Lisbon, it's the 2nd oldest capital in Europe, second only to Athens, and it actually predates Rome. But it's just as buzzing and fresh today as it ever was. This colourful capital is Europe's westernmost city and features on our 11-day Iberian Discovery Tour on the ultra-luxurious scenic Eclipse. For me, I've grown up with names like Magellan and Vasco da Gama. Oh, they're epic names. How do you explain one country, let alone one city, because they were all from Lisbon, all of these great explorers, navigators. How do you explain one country giving the world so much? What is it about Portugal?
Portugal is a very old country, one of the oldest countries in the world.
They had it together.
They had it together. We only also have one border. Our only border is with Spain, and our other border is with the Atlantic. So we were on the right place, on the west tail of Europe, turned to the ocean.
Navigators and explorers may have put Portugal on the map, literally, but it's now known for something a little sweeter. Portugal is famous the world over for their Portuguese tarts. They're so creamy and custardy, and it won't surprise you to know that this is actually the #1 tourist attraction in all of Lisbon, Pastéis de Belém. On a slow day alone, they will make over 20,000 tarts. And what I love is that it's still a secret recipe. You will not find a de Belém anywhere else in the world. Portuguese tarts can be found on pretty much every corner of this country. But this is the original recipe. And as the crowds indicate, I think it might be the most popular.
First, we sprinkle with a little bit of cinnamon, right? And that gives us that taste of exotic. And then, as for the tasting part, you grab it, and you're supposed to hear the crunch in it.
The crunch of the pastry.
Means that they're super fresh. Bon appétit.
Oh, good. And it's warm. It's warm. Oh, my God. I mean, that is one of the most delicious tastes you could ever hope for.
I've had thousands of them, and I still love them.
And it's all thanks to the magnificent monastery right next door.
One of the monks gave the recipe to a local that opened this pastry shop in 1837.
Do you mind if I lick my fingers? Not at all. Oh, good. Geronimo's monastery was built to commemorate the return of the famous explorer Vasco da Gama after being the first European to discover India. And it's interesting how the theme of sailing, you can see it right throughout.
The ropes.
The ropes.
Well, first of all, the support, the limestone, is easy to carve, so you can do something this ornate. And we have a lot of these nautical symbols.
Themes, yes. Just across from the monastery sits what is arguably the icon of Lisbon, Belém Tower. That is the symbol of Lisbon. Is that fair to say?
I would say so, Catriona. If you had only one shot to take one picture of Lisbon to show that you were really here, I would take one in front of this monument.
Built in the early 1500s, the tower was originally used to defend the city. So the monument and the tower, they're the only UNESCO buildings in town, is that right?
Exactly, exactly.
That's what makes the city World Heritage. Portugal is also known as the country of tiles. Colourful mosaics on homes, shops and buildings right throughout the country, creating its own distinct style. And why would you have entire buildings covered on the exterior?
This is actually something very recent that we have only used in the past 200 years.
That's all.
That's all. And but the oldest tiles that we have, 500 years ago, 600 years ago, decorated patios or living rooms. And that was to keep them fresh and beautiful because it meant to decorate.
So the tiles are actually incredibly practical. They keep the houses, the rooms cool.
Exactly.
Oh, baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle?
Don't you think it's rare to find an historic city that appeals to all ages? If you ask young travellers, they just love the vibe, the energy of the streets here. But for this history buff, I just love. I find it thrilling. I get to slide along the same cobblestones as explorers who have gone on to shape the world as we know it. I don't think I want to leave Lisbon.
Why don't you just meet me in the middle?
Discover the benchmark in ultra-luxury cruising on a scenic eclipse voyage in 2025. Experience an all-inclusive journey of a lifetime along the Iberian coastline. Secure your voyage today with Scenic's super early bird offers. Getaway viewers can save an additional $300 per person off select Scenic Eclipse cruises. For more info or to request your voucher, visit scenic.com.au/getaway. Call 1300 790 372 or have a little chat to your nearest travel advisor.